Hello, everybody. Welcome to LA Dodger Report Series Wrap Up. Your reporter Oscar here. Scott isn't with us today, but I'm just going to do a quick series wrap up. The Dodgers just completed a 3 game stint with the Arizona Diamondbacks and just kind of want to go over that, the implications that I see, and we'll touch a bit on what's coming up next for the Dodgers. Well, this season matchup between the Snakes and the Dodgers was quite important. Early in the season, true. It's a marathon, not a sprint. True again. But a series like this still can mean quite a bit as the season, at least the first third of the season, plays out. Why? Because you've got the first place Diamondbacks actually thinking they're a first place team, and you've got the Dodgers in third place. Boy, how did I almost say Giants? You know why? Because I was going to say third place, and instead of saying third place Giants, which would seem normal, I was being forced to say third place Dodgers. You've got the first place Diamondbacks against the third place Dodgers. And if the Diamondbacks would have been able to put together a sweep in this series, they would have made a powerful statement to their fans, to the media, and to themselves about the possibilities for their season. And they would have made an even bigger statement to the Dodgers that this is what a first place team looks like. And they would have sent the Dodgers limping away off to San Francisco thinking, geez, maybe we really are a third place team. And a lot of us out here might have been thinking the same thing as well. So that's why this series was very important. The first game between the two teams was almost a throwaway. Why do I say that? Well, it started out like a dogfight. The Dodgers were scoring, and then Arizona came back. Then the Dodgers took the lead, and then Arizona tied it and took the lead. And the lead exchanged several times before the Dodgers bullpen got in there and they had a complete meltdown. Now I say, and for those of us that saw the game, it was a horror show, and the Dodgers just fell apart, and Arizona scored, and just spanked the Dodgers to sleep that night. Now, why do I say it was a throwaway? Because the normally reliable bullpen fell apart. Up until that night, Luis Avilan, nails. Sergio Romo, pretty much, also lights out. Those guys came in and just uncharacteristically couldn't find the strike zone. If you walked up to them and showed them a picture and said, this is the strike zone, they still couldn't find it. So, um, I'm going to say out that game, although the Diamondbacks still picked up a win. Now, yesterday, Kenta Maeda went to the mound, and Maeda's the one that had a meltdown. Was it uncharacteristic? I'm not so sure. It's starting to look, unfortunately, like this might be the norm for Maeda. They hit him, and they hit him hard. He gave up 4 home runs yesterday, and once again, the Diamondbacks spanked the Dodgers around. So they came into today's game with Brandon McCarthy heading to the mound and a possible sweep with the Dodgers at the wrong end of the broom in the air. Well, if you missed it, Brandon McCarthy came out and gave up a quick home run in the first inning. Now, the balls are really flying out there in Arizona, so home runs were pretty cheap, but you still had to hit them. And the Dodgers hadn't hit any in their first inning. So the Snakes took a quick lead, but McCarthy hung tough. He found his groove and he quieted Arizona for the next 6 innings. And it gave the Dodgers a chance to get at Arizona's bullpen. The Dodgers were pretty quiet themselves for the first 4 innings. Arizona's starter got tightness in his arm, something or another, and he had to come out. In came their bullpen, and out went the baseballs. Whew. Dodgers finally started hitting. Adrian Gonzalez came up big. He hit 2 doubles today, and Yasmani Grandal punched one out as well. So the Dodgers took today's game. They avoid the sweep. McCarthy establishes himself as the second ace on the starting rotation, and at least the Dodgers come away telling Arizona, not so fast. You're in first place today, but we are capable of coming back and taking that lead. We shall see, right? Now, I was still a little troubled by what was happening with Maeda, and we still have to worry a little bit about Hyunjin Ryu. Let's hope that these guys can step up. We'll see what happens with Ryu. He's going to go tomorrow. Those guys have me a little bit worried. They look like weak links in starting rotation. Something else has me a little bit worried. And this goes back to what I talked about last time we were together, and that was when I mentioned that I believe that Farhan Zaidi is forcing the hand of Dave Roberts' lineups and forcing players to be in because he likes these matchups and he likes this platoon business and so on. I'm getting a little bit worried because Chase Utley got the start today, and I'm not so sure that that guy is deserving of any starts at this point. All right, we've got Kike, who can certainly play competent second base. We've seen Kike make some outstanding plays out there at second base, so the man is capable. And Kike has been swinging a hot bat and getting hotter since the last time that I spoke to us. Since the last time we were all together, we talked about that. Kike is just getting better, and yet he didn't get the start at second. We've got Taylor, who's batting 900 since he's been getting his chances, and he didn't get the start. How's Chase Utley doing? Chase Utley started the day at 1 for 24, and they trotted him out there with a sweep on the line and everything else that goes with that. Utley ended the day at 1 for 27. Listen, I love Chase. I love me some Chase. I said myself that Chase Utley deserved a 1-year contract just based on that slide that he made in the playoffs against the Mets. Just for that, sign him up to a 1-year contract. But that was yesterday, baby. Chase, I don't know, man. I suppose he can come in certain situations, but I don't see those starts in your future. I hope I don't see those starts in your future anyway. So, how about a couple of positives, though? Jock Peterson has been batting leadoff in the Arizona series, and he's been doing very well. He's been doing great. As a matter of fact, I'd like to see him continue at leadoff. Speaking of, I'd like to see him continue, I hope that he'll be batting leadoff in San Francisco. Why do I say I hope? Because Jock left the game today with some groin tightness, groin tenderness. I've heard different groin soreness. I've heard different descriptions, and no matter which one it is, they're all horrible for me to think about. So, Jock, get well soon, kid. He's on the day-to-day. They're going to check him out tomorrow. Nobody's said disabled list yet, but let's hope that Jock remains in the lineup because he's been doing very well. He's seeing the ball well, he's hitting the ball well, and he is becoming a very good leadoff hitter for us. Another positive that I see coming out of this Arizona series is Adrian Gonzalez and his power waking up. Kind of, sort of. Now, I was starting to worry about Agon, I mentioned before the series began that I thought his power was going to continue to diminish as it has been, and it looks like it's playing out that way because we haven't seen a single home run yet. And I was starting to get worried. Um, to finish that thought, um, I thought that his power was going to continue to decline, but Gonzalez is such a good hitter that I've been saying he's just going to become like a Tony Gwynn on the team, which is not a bad thing because that just means Gonzalez is going to continue to get his RBIs and he's going to continue to get clutch hits. They're just going to be singles and they're going to be doubles. And we'll take that as long as he's piling up those RBIs. So, what was happening over the Arizona series wasn't looking very good. He sat out a game, but when we did see him play, you know, balls were flying out of Arizona. Everybody was hitting it in the air and they were hitting it deep. And we weren't seeing too much of that from Gonzalez. So I was wondering, maybe if he can't even hit a deep one in Arizona, maybe he just can't hit them deep anymore. But he came up big today with two doubles. He's banging them off the wall and he's missing home runs by that much. But he's getting close. And we can see that he's still got a little bit juice left in that bat. So, attaboy, butter and eggs, man. One thing that does give me pause is the fact that they were blowing him away with fastballs today, and it did look like he just doesn't have the speed any longer to catch up to those fastballs. If I'm an opposing pitcher, I'm giving Gonzalez nothing but heat and let him try to hit it, because until he shows he can hit it, just keep throwing it. All right, so what have we got coming up in San Francisco? The Dodgers are going to start a four-game series against the hated ones tomorrow. First up, Hyunjin Ryu is going up against Matt Cain. Ryu, we're a little bit worried about him, so let's see how he does. His last outing, he didn't last very well, and he didn't do very well. So, here's hoping. We're all behind you, Hyunjin. We'll all drink a hite, however you pronounce that Korean beer, which I love. And we'll all drink a hite tomorrow, and we'll get behind you. Tuesday, Kershaw. It was going to be Kershaw against Dirt Bike Baumgartner, but instead that guy's out, which is good news for the Dodgers, and it's going to be Kershaw against Ty Black, or Ty Black, however you pronounce that name. I'll call him Ty Black. All right. Wednesday, we get Wood against Johnny Cueto. Cueto's, always somebody to beware of on the mound, so we'll see how that plays out. Wood has been doing pretty well for the Dodgers, and we shall see. He's what we have, so please do well. And finally, on Thursday is a question mark. Are we going to see Kenta Maeda on his regular day? The Dodgers have been kind of dabbling around the edges that we may not see Maeda. He may get pushed back a day so that he can continue working on whatever he needs to work on in order to pitch better. If he gets pushed back, look for Julio Urias to come in and take his spot. Lots of folks on Twitter are saying, yeah, hooray, Julio's coming, and so on, which is great. Listen, I'm a fan of Julio. I love the kid, right? I'm a southpaw. I'll say it always. I love the southpaws, and I love me some Mexicano southpaws. Keep them coming. But he's still got that high pitch count problem. Keeping him in extended spring training over there in the minor leagues didn't help. If I remember correctly, I think his last outing, he did something like 5 innings and 93 pitches. So, that doesn't exactly sound like a savior to the rotation. We'll see how that plays out. Thursday, at least as of this time, is a question mark. But otherwise, things are certainly looking interesting for the Dodgers. Last time we talked, they were a 500 team. Where are they now? They're actually one game below 500. But the positive news is they didn't get swept by the Snakes, and they posted notice to themselves that they can win. So look out, San Francisco. Tomorrow should be the beginning of an interesting series. Thanks for joining me for series wrap up, and we'll talk again. I believe it's going to be Scott together with me, and we'll talk again after the San Francisco series. So long, everybody.